Hello and welcome to another stream. My name is Ray and it is Learning Korean with Ray, day 199. And again we have a line there. I just checked it before and I can't believe it. Okay, so yesterday we finished the grammar lesson, and that means today we are going into the exercises and then the practice videos. But I think there was a little bit missing. Just like two little, like very small chapters. So let's take a look at that. Yeah, here, I think this one. So to summarize, we learned about 잘 and 못, 잘하다 and 못하다. To say something is being done poorly or well. Well, then we also learned we can use it as an adverb, also in front of hada, which is almost the same, but is a slightly different meaning. And then the mot case is a bit different, because if you use mot as an adverb, you can mean that something is being done poorly, or you can mean that something is being done not at all because someone or something prevented the action. And yeah, that's what's the hardest part of the lesson. Yeah, this ambiguity when you use mothada. But that's what you learned. And now we're here. One more thing about mothada. So more weird things about mothada. Similar structure to G anta. You can also write G mothada. Okay, I just summarized from yesterday that mothada, I think only if it's an adverb, can mean to not do something at all. And this is the negation. The negation of of anything. Can be added to any verb. Okay, it's exactly the same. So 저는 어제 못 잤어요. I didn't sleep yesterday. Again, this is an adverb, so this can mean I didn't sleep yesterday because something prevented me from doing so, or I didn't sleep well last night, so I slept poorly last night. It can have both meanings. And here we have 자지 못했어요. Okay. So instead of putting the mod in front of the verb, we just use the verb and add G motada to it. Hi Kaya, thanks for tuning in. Okay. So remember that mod and G motada have the same meaning, which is subtly different from motada as one verb. Okay, so here we have it as an adverb. Here we have this other thing, which is basically the same we just learned. And here we have the different case where we have motada as a verb. So not as an adverb and not with a G. So just a normal verb. In that case, it cannot mean that it didn't happen. It's just the poorly meaning. And also talking about, I think, the general ability, and not that something is because of a certain situation. That is just currently the case. Okay. Okay, and then we have one more. So this was mistake or fault. Yeah, with no space in between has a different meaning. Means mistake. This word would normally be an easy word to deal with. However, it is more difficult than it needs to be because Jalmot and Jalmot have two different meanings. So Jalmot, we learned above that it definitely means poorly or not well. So I I took the exam poorly. I didn't take the exam well. When you use this one, and this is just a noun. Okay, Kkosin 제 잘못이 없어요. 이었어요. That thing was my mistake. Okay, so that was my mistake. Normally when you say my, you use Joe or nae. Yeah, okay. Yeah, I learned that already, that you can shorten it. But I didn't know that this one uses the A with the little line and this one uses the A without the line. Okay. So some nouns prefer, so it's not just a casual way or like abbreviation of this one. It's really dependent on the noun. That's something I didn't know. I thought this one is like more informal. So when you are with friends or so, you text it like that. But if you have a formal, like you're in school and you want to write an essay with correct grammar, so you use this one. That's what I thought, but it looks like it's depending on the noun. Interesting. Okay, and now we have the last lesson here. One final thing before we finish. In previous lesson you learned using Poda. Informal ist my nee. Mm, yeah, okay. Yeah, that's true. So it's 100% only dependent on the noun, yeah? No other factors. 100% only the noun decides which one you use. Joe or J or nawe or ne, or is there some other factor? Like if you're talking to someone that deserves respect, you need to use Joe instead of J or so. Or is any of that the case, or is it really purely 100% only dependent on the noun? That's what I like to know. Okay, so one final thing before we finish. In the previous lesson, you learned using Poda and Kajang Jail. Yeah, most or more than, to make comparative or superlative sentences. The concepts you learned in this lesson are very commonly used alongside Poda or Kajang Jail in sentences to say that somebody can do something better or worse. Okay. Some examples. Our son is better than his friends at soccer. 우리 아들은 친구들보다 어, 축구를 to jarheo. Oh man, but we also learned another word for better, which is what was it? Natada? Yeah, I think natada. Wait, let me go to lesson 19 quickly, because I want to compare this. Better. Ah yeah, you can say more good, or you can say natta, or you can say this one. Okay, but I see the difference. This one is talking about nouns, these two, and this one, the jalhada, is talking about an action, a verb that is better or not better. Okay. 그 교수는 다른 교수들보다 수업을 더 잘해요. Man, I need to read quicker and better, not make so many breaks and stops and mistakes. 그 교수는 다른 교수들보다 수업을 더 잘해요. Man, there are always these breaks, but I can't avoid it. I just need to read more. I should just take some, I don't know, some newspaper, or just read everything. Just there is a list somewhere of all the only words, not sentences. Yeah, but I should just go through all the sentences and just read everything all the time. I am better at swimming than last year. 저는 수영을 작년보다 더 잘해요.
저는 수영을 작년보다 더 잘해요.
잘해요. 요. 우리 아들은 축구를 가장 잘해요. 그 교수는 수업을 제일 잘해요. 잘해요. Okay. And we have the same with mod. Again, in most situations, these sentences would sound more natural with use of other grammatical principles. Okay. For example, to say I'm the one who plays soccer the worst, or of all people I play soccer the worst. What? I am the one who okay, so this would be the more natural way, these two examples, but we can't do that yet. That's in lesson 26 and 33. Okay. Yeah, long way to go. Very long way to go. But we have lesson 20 completed now. And with that, I think we can go into the grammar here. I am opening the workbook. There we go. Okay, and here we have exercise 9 for lesson 20. Okay, only one, so the next one is for 21 already. So, here we go, let's do it. Circle the correct English translation for the Korean sentence, taking into consideration the subtle difference in meaning of 잘, 잘하다, 못하다. and Jimotada. Hey, we just learned this one and this one have no difference in meaning. Damn it. Okay, circle it. Circle is the correct. Can we circle? Do I have the possibility of circling? Oh wow, what a perfect circle. Perfectly around the text. Beautiful. Okay, but I'm not sure which one is correct yet. So let's read. 저는 수영을 잘해요. I'm good at swimming. In general. Yeah, so I think this one is correct. 슬기는. Oh my god, we have the new words again. What is 슬기? Oh, okay, it's a name, I guess. Yeah, I should just look at the translation. At least we have the translation here, so it's not like I'm wondering what it is. Okay, yeah, it's always new. 학교에 슬기는 학교에 못 갔어요. 못 갔어요. Okay, so she did not go to school the right way. So this is basically saying she did not go. She did go to school poorly. That's the second sentence. But this mode can also mean she didn't go to school. So I'm circling the first one. Oh my god. Yeah, because of something prevented her. Something prevented her. Usually she should go to school, but something prevented her. That's why she didn't. That's what this sentence should be saying. Okay, 남중은 요리를 못해요. Okay, this is again the general. In general, not good at cooking. So I would say the first one in this case. Okay, next one. Son 선회 선휘는 자지 못했어요. 자지 못했어요. That should mean she didn't sleep because of something preventing her. She was not able to sleep. She can never sleep well. Okay, never is like a generalization, so it's the first one here. Okay, and here we have a lot of horizontal lines after each other. Hui영은 운동을 잘 못했어요. 잘못했어요. Okay, this means poorly exercising. And this is past tense, so Hui-young exercised poorly. Made a mistake while exercising. Did not exercise well. Isn't that the same meaning? I'm seeing what they try to go for. If there would be no space here, it would be mistake. So it's definitely this one. Okay, that's it. So that was a very short exercise. So let's see. First, second, second. First, second, second. First, second, second. Perfect. And with that, the exercise is done in 5 minutes. Okay. Why is there like another font type here compared to the other? That's so weird. Yeah, okay, but this was a very easy exercise once again. Yeah, so the exercise definitely became so much easier in the last 4 lessons, I think. And with that, we are back to the grammar lesson here. And we go into the first video. I mean, we're only 22 minutes into the lesson, and we already did like 2 chapters here, the exercises, and now we go into the video. Very nice speed so far.
All right, let's practice some sentences. I'm going to prompt you with 5 English sentences based on the grammar from Unit 1, Lesson 20. And it's going to be your job to try to translate those sentences into Korean.
Okay, let's go.
The first sentence I would like you to try is, I am good at playing tennis. I put playing in brackets because
tennis. I didn't learn tennis yet. What?
Word doesn't. The first sentence.
Why is he not using baseball or soccer? I learned those 2 sentences, those 2 words.
I'll give you 10 seconds and you can start now.
Wow. Wow. Nice way to make the exercise, the practice impossible for me without checking some words. Yeah, I have to find out what tennis means. So mean. Oh, tennis. But what is this one? Chida? To hit. To play. I like to play tennis. I want to play tennis. Tennis. Wanada? That's not correct. Okay, but it looks like you use this Chida to say to play tennis. The other play I know is Nolda. Nolda. That's the only play I know. To play tennis here. Oh, harder. Here, harder. To play tennis. Yes, again, Chida. Okay, I'm just using Chida. We'll see. Will be interesting. Okay, so I'm doing it now. No, 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 no. Wrong button. Okay, let's go. Chonin. Okay. Chonin. I'm good at playing tennis. Wow. Yeah, I guess it's just tennis. Tennis. Söre. 잘하다. I'm not sure actually. Well, let me go back to this very quickly. This very first. Yeah, okay, yeah, then it's correct. All good. So obviously we don't use hada, we use he, heyo. But then it should be correct. Let's see.
Okay, the subject of the sentence is I, so I'm going to start by putting this here. I could use the formal 저 or the informal na. It doesn't really matter in this situation. The translation would be the same. I'm going to say that I'm good at tennis. And I actually don't think you know the word for tennis, but I specifically use that because I wanted to create a similar sentence that we created in Unit 1, Lesson 20, but maybe using a word that you don't know. Well, the word for tennis in Korean is tennis. And the way you write it is very similar to the way it's written in English. And it looks like this. It goes te, ni, s. Now, that's the thing that I do good. So that's the object of the sentence. So that means I have to put this on it. Now I need to indicate that I'm good at doing that.
Yeah, so the A is the wrong one. Not too bad.
And if I'm generally good at doing some sort of thing, what I need to do is use the word 잘하다. So it's going to look like this. And because I'm generally good at this, I actually want to use the verb 잘하다 and not a separate thing by using 잘 and then a space and then 하다. It's actually going to be the word itself, 잘하다. And I'm going to conjugate this into the informal high respect, which looks like this. And this sentence would read, 저는 테니스를 잘해요. The next sentence I would like you to try is, my mom can't speak English. Just like in the first sentence, the word speak actually doesn't come out in this Korean sentence. So when you translate this, try to not use the word speak and just try to use the general word for to do. I'll give you 10 seconds and you can start now.
Okay, so he's saying use the general word for to do. So I would assume that he means you use hada, and the mod is probably separate from that. But I don't know, is this a general thing or is this... Yeah, it must be general, so I would say motada and not hada with mod as an adverb. So let's see, my mom, Joey, I'm not sure. I know harmony. No, wait. Aboji. Omoni is its mother. But there's also Omma, right? Omma. I'm not sure about this Omma, but I will just use it. I think the short form or the casual form for mother. 엄마는 영어를 못해요. Yeah, that's what I'm going for. Ah, wait, Kaya, you have something as well. 조의 엄마는 영어를... Okay, so you use the adverb. But I learned when you use the adverb and have it separated from the heyo, that means that my mom cannot speak English because something is preventing her right now, like in this specific situation. But that makes no sense in my opinion. So can you tell me why you chose to use the adverb here? Feels weird to me. I'm playing the answer. I will be honest, I don't get the chapter very well. Okay, so what I learned is when you have jarheo, jarhada or motada as one verb, then it means in general you don't have the ability to play tennis or play tennis well. So in general you cannot do it well, or in general you cannot speak English. And if you have it as an adverb, separated from the hada, it means that it's a very specific situation right now, or just right now. It makes no sense for speaking language, but let's say you can say I'm not good at tennis because my good tennis bat is at home and I just have this crappy tennis bat right now. So right now I'm not good at playing tennis. Or my foot is hurt, so I'm not good at playing tennis right now. But not the general ability. That's when you put the adverb. That's how I understood everything. Yeah, the only thing that confuses me here is that the sentence is my mom can't speak English, like at all. It's not cannot speak English well, or is not good at speaking English, or is bad at speaking English. It's can't speak English, and that's the only thing that confuses me here.
Okay, the subject of the sentence is my mom, and again, I could use...
If it's at all, then maybe your sentence is correct, because if it's the adverb, mod as an adverb, and then hada as the verb, that's the only way it can mean that something is not happening at all. But even then, it's because of something preventing her. And I mean, what prevents her? Maybe she has no time to learn it or so. But that's more like a general statement. I don't know, it's weird.
The informal noun.
Learning a language always feels general for me. So I would always use jarhada or motada as one verb.
Or the formal ta in the sentence, doesn't really matter. I will, as I usually do in my sentences, I'll use the formal one, and I'll go ta, and it's...
But it's probably the adverb here because we just had the other word in the first sentence. So if he's not using the adverb here, it would be basically the same sentence, just with a different object.
My, not I, but my mom, so I have to put ui on ta. Now it's my mom, and I could use omoni, or I could use omonim if I wanted to be really formal, but I'll just use amma, which is sort of the colloquial way to refer to one's mom. 저희 엄마. My mom is the subject of the sentence, so I'm going to put nun on it here. Now, very similar to the sentence up above, I want to indicate that my mom, in general, can't do the skill of speaking English.
Okay,
now,
then
if I want to do that,
motada is one verb.
What I can actually do, instead of using the word speak, if I just indicate that it's a language, and I'll put that word in here, the language is English. So if I just put the language here, which the word for English in Korean is 영어. If I put the object on that, and I just use the verb hada, that generally just means to, well, it means to do that language. Well, you don't do a language, you speak a language. And Korean people often like to shorten their sentences whenever they can. So they often don't say 말하다 in this situation, and they just say hada. So if I just put hada here, that would sort of say that my mom speaks English, or my mom maybe can speak English or something like that. But I want to indicate that she can't speak English. So I'm not actually going to use just hada, but I'm going to use the verb to indicate that somebody generally can't do something. And what I want to do in that situation is I'm going to use the verb 못하다. So I'm going to put 못, and I'm going to conjugate this using the informal high respect, just like in the sentence I saw above. And it's going to be 못해요. And this is actually a very similar sentence to the sentence that I have up here. I can do something well. And what is it that I can do well? Well, it's tennis that I can do well. This situation is very similar. It's my mom can't do something well. And what is it that she can't do well? Well, it's English. And I know it sort of sounds unnatural in English to say that I can't do English well, but this is often the way that Korean people would say it, and they wouldn't use the word 말하다 in this sentence anywhere. They would just use 못하다 to indicate that they can't do this thing well. And this sentence would read, 저희 엄마는 영어를 못해요. The next sentence I would like you to try is...
Yeah, okay, so if it's together without the space and not an adverb, but just one verb, it's always meaning in general. That's a big difference. So now we'll probably get a sentence where we use the adverb.
My dad can't retire until next year.
Yeah, until next year is clearly specifying that this year is a special situation that is preventing him right now, but next year he can do it. So this is obviously not in general. So a specific thing preventing him from doing it this year.
You're translating the sentence, try to think that my dad can't retire until next year because of some sort of situation that's preventing him from retiring. Like maybe we don't have enough money for him to retire and he has to continue working. And I'll give you 10 seconds and you can start now.
Yeah, so this is a clear situation where you use the adverb. So let's do it. 저의 아버지는 retire 직하다, 퇴직하다. So I guess we use the noun here, 퇴직, 퇴직일, probably, 퇴직일. And then we use 못 as an adverb, and then we use... Actually, no, we don't use it as a noun. We use it as a verb, just normal as a verb, because we're using 못 as an adverb. We can do that. So GKO. Okay, so 못 is an adverb here, basically meaning it's not happening because something is preventing him. Until next year is still missing. What is until again? Oh, until. Oh, lesson 12 or so, maybe 13, 14. Until kaji. Poda. Damn, I think it's gaji. Ah, man. Next year is 내년. So I'm going to put 내년 here. Yeah, and then I don't know, gaji. Yeah, this looks wrong. But yeah, in general that's a sentence, but the until is basically wrong after 내년. Very sure. So, but anyways, I will stop this. 제 Aba. Okay. Aba is the short form for father. The casual form for father, I assume. I have not seen that so far. Aba. Okay. Oh, next year, Talm. No, Talm is only possible for week and month, I think. Next year. Pretty sure next year is a special case and it's Nenyon. Oh, but Kaji. Kaji is. Oh, Kaji was actually correct. Wow. At least you have it as well, so that's crazy. Okay, and then you're using Toijik Haji Moteo. Yes, that you can do it that way with the G, but I think then you don't need the space between Mot and Heyo. I will quickly show it here. 1 second. I'm not quite sure, but let me check. But my sentence is definitely correct. Yeah, here no space. So this is exactly the same as an adverb. If you use my sentence or this one without the space, then it's exactly the same. And both mean that in this current situation right now, something is preventing the action from happening. So yeah, my sentence is definitely correct, and your sentence would be correct if you don't have a space between Mot and Heyo. But yeah, let's check the answer here.
Okay, the subject of the sentence is my dad, so very similar to the way I started this sentence above. I'll start this sentence down below, and it'll say 저의, and it's not my mom, but I'll use the colloquial way of referring to one's father, which is just 아빠. 아빠. I'm actually a father now, and my daughter is 1, and she's just getting to the age of where she says 아빠 to me. It's kind of strange in the sense that my entire life I sort of imagine my child calling me dad or daddy, but I don't imagine that she's going to call me dad or daddy soon. She'll probably most likely call me appa for the rest of her life. She does speak some English words, but she knows probably half English and half Korean, and it's really cute when she says appa and when she looks at me. Anyways, getting off track here. That's the subject of the sentence, so I'm going to put nun on this here. Now, he can't retire until next year. So at some point, I need to indicate that there's something happening until next year, and the word for next year is 내년. 내년. That could go in other places of the sentence, but I'm just going to put it here because this is the most natural place for me to put it in my mind. And it's until next year, so it's going to be 내년까지, and this has to be attached to 내년. Now, he can't retire. And again, as I said before, there's something sort of preventing him from doing this. And because of that, I actually don't want to use the verb. I don't want to actually use the verb 못하다. I don't want to use this in this situation. What I want to do is use the adverb 못 to indicate that something can't be done. And the verb that can't be done is actually 퇴직하다. And the most natural way to do this is actually to separate 퇴직 and 하다 and put 못 in between them. And the way that you're going to do that is you're going to say 퇴직, and 퇴직 is the noun form of to retire. So I guess in English, the noun form of to retire is just retirement or something like that. It sounds sometimes unnatural to separate them in English, but in Korean, this is what they do. So it's 퇴직, and that's the object that 하다 is going to act on later. And actually, maybe I'll do that. So I'm going to actually finish this.
Yeah, so if he's separating it, of course, it's always possible, but then it should be 못 as an adverb and then 해요.
And you could actually combine these in some sentences, but in some sentences, it's actually better to separate them. And I'll get to that in a second. So I'll just conjugate 하다 into the informal high respect, 해요. But this sort of just says, my dad retires until next year, and there's obviously something missing here, I want to indicate that he can't retire because of some sort of situation. And the way that you want to indicate that something sort of can't be done because something's preventing you from doing what you, in theory, could do, but you can't do because of some situation, you want to use 못. And notice that there's actually a space here, and that's sort of why I was trying to describe that, think about the situation that there's something preventing you from retiring or preventing your dad from retiring. This sentence would read, 저희 아빠는 내년까지 퇴직을 못해요. This sentence would read, 저희 아빠는 내년까지 퇴직을 못해요.
Is he saying 좋아?
Or preventing your dad from retiring. This sentence would read, 저희 아빠는 내년까지 퇴직을 못해요. The next
Okay, so let me do something here. So since there's some confusion here, let me maybe copy the format here. Bam. What zoom is this? What zoom level? 100. The text size is way bigger. Okay. So so we have Jal Hada, or let's just use mod Hada, maybe without the space first. Wow, what is this size here? Fit to data. Nice. Let's get some data in here. Okay. So this one is in general doing something poorly in general. So, and this in general is very important. Where's the underline? Why is there no underline? Can't believe it. There, underline. Yeah, I can just remove this whole thing. Let me just fix this very quickly here. Okay, then the next one is Korean. Mod. Wow. 못하다. This one, or it is G 못하다. Where's the G? Okay, so this one is two possibilities: doing something poorly in this situation, or it is not doing something because something is preventing. Maybe I should do this in another line. Maybe just like this. Okay. Oh, he underlined everything. Okay, that makes no sense. Yeah, but anyways, this part is important. I will add this in this situation here as well. Then we also have another thing, which is mod jalmod hada. Jalmod hada, that is also this one, I think. Okay, there's something wrong here. So these two are exactly the same. They are the same, 100% the same. And they can mean both of these. So this is a bit weird that this looks like this is meaning this and this is meaning this, but they are the same, they are completely equal. And they can mean both of these. How can I do this? I'm not sure. Yeah, maybe if I just combine these. Maybe copy this first. Combine. And now like this maybe. It's weird to visualize this. But this one, exactly, this one can only mean this and not this. That's a really important difference here. So maybe I put this one up here. Delete this one. And this one should be combined. Okay. This one gets colored like this. Oh, okay. Okay. Yeah, it's really weird to do. Yeah, it's basically not possible to visualize it well. Maybe I add different colors for that. So this one is a complete different thing anyways. And this one, I don't know. It's not possible. It's not possible to visualize nicely. But the thing is that this one always means this. Yeah, I need to separate this. So this one always means this, but these two can mean both of these. Yeah, that's basically it. Any troops, hey, what's up? Learning Korean here. Welcome. Yeah. Yeah, anyways, I don't know how to make this visually appealing, but what's definitely true, this one means this, only this one. So this should get another color, I guess. This one always means this, but these two can both mean these two. So it's yeah, it's ambiguous basically, but you can use this one to make it not ambiguous. And if you want to say this one, then you can use both of these. Okay, anyways, let's continue with YouTube, with practice. Okay.
Sentence I would like you to try is, I didn't eat breakfast well. Again, when you're thinking about translating the sentence,
what he wants to say, I'm going to predict it. He's saying that it doesn't make sense to, or that it doesn't mean that someone is in general not eating breakfast well, but it's a specific situation right now, something that is preventing him from eating breakfast well in like right now. Maybe he was at the dentist the last day and he can't really chew correctly, so he didn't eat well.
a few things I want you to take note of. The first thing, in this situation, you actually did eat breakfast, but something prevented you, some sort of situation prevented you from eating it in a well manner, whatever that might be. Maybe you were sick, or maybe you were still full from the night before, or who knows what it was, but maybe you didn't have enough time, but something prevented you from doing it well. And when you're translating this, just so you can try to get exactly what I want, try to also include the word well in there. And hopefully that's clear enough. I don't want to ever steer you and basically tell you the answer in my English sentence, but try to think about, one, the fact that some sort of situation prevented you from not eating the breakfast well, even though you did eat, and also think about using the word well in Korean. I'll give you 10 seconds and you can start now.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I know what he means. So 저는 breakfast. I need to know breakfast. I think it's 아침 식사. 아침 식사. And that's the object of the sentence. So 일. No, 사를. Okay. 저는 아침 식사를. And now what he was trying to say is we should use 잘. So I could use 못하다, 못해요, like this, but that's ambiguous. That could mean I didn't eat breakfast well, or I did eat breakfast poorly, or it can mean I did not eat breakfast at all because something prevented me from doing so. But that's not what he wants here. So to make it not ambiguous, we will put 잘 in front of mot with a space. And that makes it clear that we did eat breakfast, but we did it poorly or not well. But we did. So if we don't put that 잘 in there, that could mean we didn't eat breakfast at all. Okay, so that's the answer here. So Kaya, exactly. Okay, you Yeah, okay. Yeah, you're right. I used hey off just out of habit now. I didn't use Mokta. So yeah. And I also didn't put the past tense. So yes, obviously you're right here. Mogosoyo. Okay, yeah, that should be correct. Oh, but wait. Oh, you have Achimpap. Achimpabil. Okay, interesting. I learned Achim Shiksa for breakfast. So let's see what he's saying about that.
Okay, the subject of the sentence is I, so I'll start with this here. The thing that didn't happen, or in other words, the object that the verb didn't really act on well is breakfast. And the word for breakfast, well, you could just say achim, but I'll make it even more clear and just say
Achim,
achim
only
shiksa.
Achim as well.
And that's
Okay.
specifically the meal of breakfast. This shiksa means meal, and this means morning. So it's like morning meal, and that means breakfast. That's the object that we're acting on. So I'm going to put the object particle r on shiksa. Now I want to indicate that I didn't eat this thing very well. Well, I'll just finish the sentence by using the verb 먹었어요 to indicate that I ate in the past, or I guess in this situation I didn't eat very well in the past, conjugated in the informal high respect, 먹었어요. But if I want to indicate that I didn't really eat my breakfast well, I could put 못 here, and actually that would be good enough. I could actually just say this and say 저는 아침 식사를 못 먹었어요.
But
And
it's
it could actually
ambiguous.
mean, this situation could mean, well, I didn't really eat very well, or I actually didn't eat at all, and something sort of prevented me from eating at all. But if I put 잘 in here, it actually specifically means that I did eat my breakfast, but I just didn't eat it well. I didn't really eat it well because something sort of prevented me, maybe because I was sick or something like that. And this sentence would read, 저는 아침 식사를 잘 못 먹었어요. The next sentence I would like you to try is, that was my mistake. I'll give you 10 seconds, and you can start now.
Yeah, so I think I understood this concept well enough. Okay, and this last that is que cosin que cosin my mistake and Joey Jalmut 이었어요. 이었어요. Is it correct? Is that the past conjugation of to be? 이었어요. 잘못이었어요. Yeah, I think so. Okay, and it looks like you have this. No, you don't have the same. Okay, two difference I see. You don't have a space between k and cosin. I think there should be a space. And second, you use J. I use Joey. Okay, that's the same question I had earlier. Is it really only dependent on the noun, or is both fine? That's what I'm asking. We'll see.
The subject of this is actually that. So the word for that is not, because it's actually an operating part of the sentence, and it's actually the subject itself. It's not just 그, but it's actually 그 것. That's the subject, so I'm going to put 은 on it. Now, I want to indicate...
So he doesn't have a space either. Well, then I guess I'm wrong. I thought you need a space there. But if you have other nouns, you put a space, right? Kaya, do you know? if I say that person, I say 그 사람. Then there's a space between 그 and 사람, right? But when we have thing, so 것은, we always have to not put a space there, right? There can't be a space. Or is this also, yeah, you can put a space, you cannot, it doesn't really matter, you can do both. Do you know? Or do you always have to put it together without a space? Is that the only correct way? Both are possible for thing. Okay.
Indicate that
Okay, thanks.
that was, so I'm going to have to use ida in the past tense. My mistake. Well, the word for mistake, well, you could actually use the word 실수, but I hope that you guessed that I didn't want you to use the word 실수. I wanted you to use the word 잘못. So what I want to say is 잘못, which actually translates to mistake. And I want you to notice, and this is why we're doing this in this part, and I actually deliberately put them back to back. 잘 and 못 separate like this indicates that something is not done well. But 잘못, as in the word, actually refers to a mistake. Now, if I want to indicate that that was my mistake, I don't want to actually put 잘못 here. I want to indicate that it's my mistake. So I could use 내 or 제, or I could use 나이 or 저희. Actually, sometimes it's very common to use 나의, and sometimes it's very common to use 저의. But in some words, it's just a lot more common, for whatever reason, to use 내 or 제. And 잘못 is actually one of those things, and I actually get into this in a lesson. I think it's in a later lesson, so I don't want to mention it too much now. But I'm going to use 내, and I'll do an informal sentence here. And then I'll use 잘못. So right now, this says that my and then mistake, but I haven't really, there's no predicating word in this sentence, so I have to use ida, which is going to attach to 잘못, but it's in the past tense for was, so it's going to be 이었 or 이었어 if I want to do the informal low respect. And this sentence reads, 그것은 내 잘못이었어. Well, that was fun. I hope you learned a lot.
Okay, so yeah, this Joe or jaw. So he's saying with certain nouns, it's very common to use this short form of my, and that probably means in other nouns it's both is fine. So if we say it that way, if that's really true, if for all words or for most words both are fine, but for some specific nouns you should use, it's very more common to use the short form ne or j, then I would just always use ne or j, then I'm always correct. Right? Yeah, but he said he will talk about it in a later lesson, so yeah, I'm looking forward to that. And that is already the video. We are done here. And with that, there's only the good old dictation video fine. What if it's lesson 400? Yeah, then we have a problem, I guess. I mean, we're already at 20 here. Let's see. Let's do a little preview of the next lessons. Just looking at these pictures here. So this is asking questions. That's very important. Then we have more asking questions. So those are other questions. So we learn all the question words in the next 2 lessons. Okay. Then we have an irregular, and we have also Korean colors here. Before, after, since, within. Okay, this is, I assume this will be a harder thing. Any, some, every. Okay, I learned some already, I think. Okay, then we have mini test. Oh wow, we have a female teacher now. At least in the picture. Using verbs to describe adjectives. Verbs to describe adjectives? What? Usually the adjectives are describing and verbs can't describe. So interesting. Okay. Another way to just say the past tense. Okay. More irregulars. Okay. Making nouns probably all from verbs that have no hada but just da. Yeah, okay. Yeah, so I'm not seeing it, to be honest. I'm not seeing it here. In total, there are 158, I think. Yeah, 158. To look like past tense, future tense, honorific she ending, imperative mood, thank you for. Yeah, but even if I can't find it here, it could very well be just one little chapter in another lesson and it's not on this picture of the lesson still. So I don't find it on the pictures here until lesson 50, but it could still be in somewhere. And you know, actually, I think it's actually good to Google that. It's actually easy to Google that. If we say Joe and J, and then we put how to, site colon how to study, you don't need the triple W, how to study Korean.com. With that syntax here, site colon, you can use Google to search for these things just on this domain, nowhere else. And then we find lesson 57, for example. But I don't see it here. Yeah, it's not here. It's just the lesson where Joe shows up often enough, I guess. Yeah, so I don't find it. I do not find it. Yeah. What is this one? Do we have it here? Nope. Okay. So with that, I'm not searching further. But yeah, tomorrow we will go into the dictation practice. And then the lesson 20 is already over. And that means we're going into the first questions. But of course, in the beginning we will learn some vocabulary. The vocabulary pretty easy, some of them pretty easy. Okay, these are a bit harder. To win, to lose, okay. Then we have all the question words, or 4 of them at least. Okay, yeah, okay. It's a average vocabulary session, I guess. So again, like 3 days or so for the vocabulary. But we'll start that tomorrow after finishing the dictation video for lesson 20. Yeah, and then I may be able to ask questions soon. Okay, so that's it for today. So thanks a lot for participating in this and watching. So bye bye and annyeong.